If you've ever done work in the Philippines or with Filipinos, then you've probably experienced this at some point in time in your life. And that's the crazy phenomenon where it seems like Filipinos would rather lie to you than be honest with you about what's happening. What's even crazier is they know that you're aware of the fact that they're lying to you, and they're completely okay with it. As a matter of fact, the culture isn't just okay with it, the culture expects it. This might seem a little crazy for you Americans who haven't either lived in the Philippines or had any projects in the Philippines. But the phenomenon I'm referring to is the overemphasis on being nice and kind as opposed to being honest and direct. Now, look at it from perspective, right? In America, or dealing with Western society, we Westerners value direct, honest feedback. So if you have an employee and you say, hey, I need you to have this project done by Tuesday at 3 p.m. That employee is going to look at you and say, I can do that. Or they're going to say, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to hit that deadline, but can I do it the following week? They're going to have that open, honest dialogue. You're going to know what to expect. You're going to respect that from your employee, and you're going to come to trust them more because of that open and directness. Now, in the Philippines, that level of directness is downright terrifying for most of the folks. In Philippines culture, coming back and telling you, no, I can't hit a deadline, or, oh, that project isn't going to work, but I want to do something different, that is seen as horribly disrespectful for the supervisor or the employer or the senior, right? So in the Philippines, that same conversation, if you were to say, I have this project that I need you to complete and I need it done by Tuesday at 3 p.m., your Filipino worker or your Filipino contractor is going to look right at you and say, yes, sir, no problem, sir, we'll have that done for you. When they know for a fact there's no way they're going to hit that deadline. It's not possible, not a chance in hell are they going to hit that deadline. But they would rather save you the potential disrespect or save you the embarrassment of telling you no versus being honest and giving you a true expectation of what's going to happen. Culturally, this is accepted and expected. Confrontation is something that Filipinos will avoid at all costs, even if it's just a perceived confrontation. Recently, my wife and I were working on a small project in Novaliches. We were building a house for my mother-in-law and a couple of rental units. This is going to be part of our retirement plan in the Philippines. When we were in Washington State in the U.S., working last year with our contractor remotely, and we planned on being back home in the Philippines in July. And working with this contractor, we're trying to organize our travel plans to meet up with the final inspection and walkthrough. So working with our contractor, who has been absolutely phenomenal to work with. Fantastic gentleman, great company. I would put my name on all of their work. They do an amazing job. But the one thing that I failed to remember is that desire to be polite and not offend you by saying no. So the contractor was asked, will you be able to have the project ready to go for the final walkthrough at the last week of June? That way my wife and I could get home, walk through the property, ensure everything is good and ready to go, and then move my mother-in-law into the property. We only had a couple weeks on that trip, so we wanted to make sure it was all done and organized and taken care of. The contractor's response to me was, absolutely, sir. We will totally have it done. Nothing to worry about. All is good. Don't worry. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Shame on me. Right? I should have known better. I should have seen it coming. So fast forward, we showed up in June to look at the property. Beautiful construction. Absolutely beautiful. Turning out better than I could have ever have imagined. But it was nowhere near the point of being able to do the final walkthrough on our primary house or the 3 rental units that we have built onto the back of the lot. Absolutely no way. So I called up the contractor, and here I am, the very direct American, and I said, what's going on? You promised me it would be ready by this date, and it's not. Why did you lie to me? And shame on me, again, I was so direct not trying to be rude, but so direct with the contractor that I horribly offended him. And he didn't know what to do. And it's not his fault. This was completely on me. I should have known the level of expectation, and I should have been able to ask the questions differently to get an honest answer. So the project did end up getting completed. Not by our deadline. We did go a few weeks over, but at the end of the day, the project was complete. It's beautiful. We moved Mom in. The rental units are full. We've had them rented for the last year, and life is great. But I caused some undue conflict because of the way I directly communicated with my contractor, forgetting about the passivity of the culture. What I should have said instead was, can you let me know when you feel this project will be done? Can you advise me so that I can plan my schedule around when you feel you can have this completed? Then he would have felt safer to give me an honest, open answer because I didn't give any specific expectations on my part. Right? So if you're doing business in the Philippines or you're working with Filipinos, it's critical that you keep that in mind. Culturally, they're trying to please you at all costs, even if it means having to not be able to follow through with a commitment and dealing with the ramifications. And I know this might seem completely counterintuitive to Western culture because, well, it is. It's not Western culture we're dealing with, are we? So next time you're working with a Filipino contractor, or if you're hiring labor for your business in the Philippines, make sure you're asking more indirect questions. Don't give direct expectations with deadlines that might not be possible. Make sure you understand the bigger picture and understand the cultural communication aspects. That way you're not offending them and you're not being disappointed when you get that perceived lie. Because again, they're not intentionally lying to you. It's just culturally, they can't tell you no. Right? In a culture that is designed around pleasing others, satisfying others, making people happy, a service-oriented culture, it's very difficult to say no. In the United States, no is not offensive. In the Philippines, it's almost taboo.